and welcome to another episode of Bloodlines. I'm sitting here with the one, the only Shawn Winkler of SiriusXM.
Hi, what's going on? How's it
and
going?
He's also the illegitimate son of the Fonz, Henry
Yay,
Winkler. Hey,
the Winkler.
yeah.
I've been hearing that one since kindergarten.
And it hasn't stopped.
It's never going to.
That will keep you haunted forever.
Yeah, I know. It's all right, though. The Fonz is a good dude. I met him once. He was a cool guy.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, no
I
shit.
asked him if we were related. He said absolutely not. I had to try, though, at least once.
You're just waiting for that will to drop.
Yeah, exactly. Of course I'm getting a phone
Avon
call.
lady's calling.
Yeah, for real.
All right. So we're going to go right into the questions.
Yes.
No BS over here. So I want to talk about how you got into the radio business. How did you start off to get into SiriusXM and how you became a host as you are right now for Liquid Metal?
Yep, for Liquid Metal, voiceover of Ozzy's Boneyard, and as of right now, programming Faction, the punk channel.
Look
So
at that.
doing a lot, dipping my hands in everything. I try to.
Multifaceted. So how did you start that?
I mean,
give us a rundown.
yeah, I was going to say, because it's like a long story, but I'm not going to keep it like boring as shit.
We're going to condense it, so it's going to be 5 hours
He's
later.
going to clip this. That's what the editing is for. I went to school for audio, like recording, engineering, and all that stuff, because I was in a band, and I didn't want to pay somebody to engineer and record my album, which I heard is mad expensive.
Okay.
So I went to Institute of Audio Research right here in Manhattan. I did a 9-month crash course in audio engineering, and then ended up, they give you internships at the end. So the first internship I picked was at Def Jam Records on 57th.
Nice.
And I did it for 3 weeks and I hated it. They put me in a closet, they had me burn CDs, it sucked. And then one of my buddies called me, he was one of my only friends that had SiriusXM, and we were big Opie and Anthony fans, and he said, Opie and Anthony just aired a thing for summer interns, and I think you should apply. That day I applied, and 3 hours later they called me and asked me if I wanted to be an intern.
And the rest was history.
Yeah, so I started working for Opie and Anthony. I interned for a year. 2 of the top guys left one day. They asked me if I wanted to work there, and I've been to SiriusXM for the last 10 years ever since.
Woo!
Not on Opie and Anthony anymore, but
But
yeah.
still at SiriusXM.
Yeah,
still at the corporation.
SiriusXM. Yep.
That's awesome, man.
Longest job I've ever had in my life.
Since 2008, in essence.
2006, I started interning. I think I was hired in 2007. Last year was my 10-year anniversary. I didn't even know. They sent it out in like a mail report, which was pretty cool.
Aww.
Yeah, I made the mail report for the first time ever, and it was for something non-violent.
Just,
Yeah.
just that.
yeah, exactly. I didn't get no ribbon, no button, no pizza party.
No ham.
Yeah,
no smoked ham.
rum
to go with
ham
your
would have
flag.
been sweet. A
Rum
friggin'
ham.
Rolex watch. But it was all right. Just having a job and being able to put a roof over my head, I think is pretty cool.
And that's all you need.
Yeah, I mean, I could use a bigger roof.
Yeah, and
you
we
know?
can also use a rum ham. So the next time we do an interview, we're definitely going to get a rum ham.
Yes, I'll keep it cooler
That's
for you.
it. So, I want to know now that all this business has been going on around with the U.S. government with net neutrality and everything has been, stopped,
Yeah.
supposedly. I don't even know what it is anymore nowadays.
Yeah.
I want to know how you feel about that, man. As being somebody in the radio business, as someone who is, who started as pretty much, from the ground up. How does that?
Now here's the deal. I live in such a bubble that I don't pay attention to shit. So here's the deal. Explain to me exactly right now, because I've been wanting to ask everybody forever, what the fuck is net neutrality? Tell me what net neutrality is.
Yo, this is your interview, not mine.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so net neutrality, what's been going on pretty much is that every corporation can and start to choose other social media corporations or streaming video and whatnot. They can choose to charge.
Yeah, so you can get charged, because everyone's saying
providers.
you're going to get charged to watch porno now. That's what everyone's telling.
Exactly.
That's what net neutrality is.
That's what
yeah.
we're all mad about, people.
Yeah, I mean,
not
that's
getting our
what
business together, but porn.
Of course, but I mean that's what I've heard about net neutrality, is that you're going to have to pay for porn. And
it's a goddamn shame.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks.
It totally
that
does.
They can charge you whatever they want, but I feel, I mean, we're just going the same way like the music industry had to evolve.
Yeah.
I think we're going to have to try and evolve somehow and figure out a better way to I don't know, because nobody has enough money to be paying for all this crap. And we're not going to live like friggin' cavemen just because we have to start paying for shit. I mean, listen, they already got the Amazon Fire Stick, and they can hack that in a second, and you could get everything free. I'm sure if we have to start paying for shit, that's just going to bring out more black market stuff, and there's just going to be more people buying illegal stuff, and there's a way around everything.
Yeah, and that's the part that's disappointing to me, because, it's like back in the 90s, everything was the struggling artists, and now we're going back to being struggling artists again. It's bad enough we're all working in literally garages. I mean, we're the garage bands, even though we live in New York City. But the simple fact of the matter is that no one has money for anything anymore. So how are you going to be able to like put your own music out and your own material?
It's going to be a nightmare, but there's going to have to be a way. I mean, maybe it goes back to tape trading again. Maybe it goes back to like physical copies of shit getting passed around.
All right. So since
I know, but I mean, no, it sucks. Like, it sucks. Like, the internet is ours, and it's being like taken from us and charged to us. But I mean, again, it's companies and it's corporations and it's money, and it's like we're going to get screwed. We're going to get screwed in the end. Again, and it is what it is. But we've always found a way. We've always found a way before, and I don't see why, if we're confronted with another obstacle as shitty as net neutrality, that we wouldn't find another way around it again.
No, I understand
and
that.
Yes, I didn't know what net neutrality is, so make fun of me all you want. I don't pay attention. I don't do politics. I don't pay attention to any of that crap just because I know... Like, that's why I live in my small bubble of, like, Twitter.
I didn't know either.
Yeah. This is the first time he's had to do research.
I took a stab at it because this is his fucking interview over here. He's asking me.
I have heard of it, but it started with the porn thing. That's how it happened.
That's the only
That was the
reason.
first concern. Then it's like, but the businesses and the companies, it's usually the porn's the start of everything.
All right, getting away from the porno
getting away from the porno.
segueing back into radio.
Yes, please.
Okay, so since everyone will potentially be struggling 10 times more than what we have been struggling with for the past, 15 years, what's up with the music streaming? How do you feel about, as someone being in the radio business, as a host, as a programmer, how do you feel about, apps such as Pandora and Spotify and Amazon Music and all that jazz taking away from, not only from radio stations, but also not paying up the money? I mean, there's been a lot of issues with that over the past couple of years.
Bands have always gotten shafted one way or another. I mean, streaming, it's what all the bands are doing now. It's the best thing for them. Maybe not when it comes to cashing in on it, but as far as exposure, you have to adapt, and that's why the whole CD industry has completely sunk. Like, I mean, I know it's serious. We get rear-ended if we don't pay out our proper royalties, and like everything has to be paid out, and like streaming kind of
the whole corporate level is completely different from everybody else running around here in music trying to get into radio. Yeah, it's a whole new ball of wax.
But then again, I mean, you could be a nothing band and you can stream your stuff out to the entire world. You might not be getting coin for it, but it helps. It helps, get your stuff out there. But as far as like Apple and everybody and like not paying up, and I mean, it's the same as like, you go to a show and you get a door deal and then the friggin' promoter like doesn't pay. Like,
he screws you.
And as much as I love this business and as much as I love this industry, I do not for the life of me know how these bands do it. I don't know how they survive. I don't know how they make enough money to live, because any experience I had in the music business as far as being in a band or whatever, we were getting ripped off every time, every time. And I'm imagining that's just how it goes with every band.
It still goes on to this day. And I mean, and the funny part is that cycle has not changed.
Yeah, and it's never going to.
Yeah, no, it's not. And it's been this evolution of music and the whole theory of it, but the actual execution of it has just been primitive. Yeah. It's right back to where we start, and it sucks. And, I mean, like me personally, as someone who, streams new bands and watches recordings.
It's the best way to find new stuff,
Of course, but they still don't make cash off it.
And they don't make cash off it.
That's the hard part.
And that's like, that's one of the things they do at Sirius, is that you do more and you do more and you do more, and what it is, it's exposure. Like the streaming thing, that's exactly what it is. It's not paid and it's not this. It's like a flat thing, but it's good. It's good exposure, and it's a good way to get your stuff out there. And again, like metal bands aren't metal bands to be making money. I know. Aside from the fact that it's a business and this is how they make their money, they're not in this to make money. So, I mean, if you're getting screwed over, it's not really a big surprise. But there's got to be other ways. There's got to be other ways to make bank in this,
And the sad part is, we're not in the business to make money. We're not in the business to get a Grammy or earn a Grammy. Excuse me. We don't get Grammys. We earn them. Yeah. Rarely. Yeah. And, we're not in the business to earn accolades, but at the same time, we still do it. And, to me, as a metalhead, someone who's in the heavy metal and rock and roll business, we have the most complex genres out here in the United States and abroad, it's even worse. It's crazier out there. You know, the amount of complexity. So it's almost like a give and take, and it's disappointing, at least in my opinion, to not be able to see the switch around as compared to like pop culture or, you know, hip hop and all that jazz. And don't get me wrong, they deserve their due.
Yeah.
They really deserve their due. But it's like, come on, give some love to freaking rock and roll and metal.
Metal and rock have the most dedicated fans, and I noticed that just from working on our like social media and stuff, because our social media for the channel that we are is through the roof, because the passion that all the metal fans have is unlike any other. That's why you'll get dudes going out to like 3, 4, 5 day festivals, checking out every single day of the festival,
and
because
blowing
they are
up social media.
Exactly, blowing up social media, buying the merchandise. I mean, we are a dedicated fan base, and there's so many of these other genres that like the music comes, the music goes, you hear it one week, you're gone the other week, and I think metal has much more of a stamp of like longevity and like mattering more. I mean, just the passionate shows. I've been to hip hop shows, I've been to heavy metal shows, I've been to like, I just saw Fleetwood Mac or something. Like, I've been to a bunch of shows, and and like, I don't know. I watch all these shows, and I'm like, nothing is as good as like Greg from the Dillinger Escape Plan grabbing you by the throat and screaming 43% burnt in your face. You're never gonna get that in any other like anything.
Any other genre.
You know?
There's an amount of authenticity and uniqueness to it that no other
all
genre
the hip hop
has.
dudes, they're like adopting like a heavy metal. They're rocking pentagrams. Jose was just at a Little Uzi Vert show. Yeah, Jose Mangan, SiriusXM Liquid Metal Zone. Little Uzi Vert show, and Little Uzi Vert's logo is the Metallica.
Yes,
it's written as the Metallica logo. So they're adopting this heavy metal culture because they know we're the shit. And you know, I love hip hop.
Take that Kanye West with your pentagram material.
Yeah, I love hip hop, but I mean, I don't mind seeing it. I don't mind. I like to think, as much as I sit around listening to hip hop and heavy metal, I like to think the same thing that there's rappers listening to heavy metal.
There are.
Yeah.
They're starting to adapt to us.
Yes.
Again.
Yes.
You know,
I mean, they always have. They just haven't been as open about it, I think.
True.
Yeah.
All right, I agree with that.
I know Waka Flocka Flame is a huge Lamb of God fan.
Yeah, that I could see.
That blew my mind. So a little hip hop knowledge. Yeah.
All right. You got me beat on that one, because I don't know new hip hop for the life of me. I'm still old school, so that's where my old ass is gonna stay.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
You know? And now, speaking of where old asses are gonna stay,
yeah.
You know, we were just speaking about exposure and everything like that, and I've noticed that you're a huge wrestling fan.
Oh my God, of course.
Oh my God.
Here we go. Interview. All right, now music portion is over.
Yeah, the music /
Roman Reigns. Let's talk about Roman Reigns.
It's not that kind of episode.
Okay.
No, but the funny part about exposure is that I've noticed I've been a World Wrestling Entertainment fan since I was 5.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm going to be 31, so that means I've been around for 55 years.
Yeah.
But that's beside the point. You know, when it comes to exposure, World Wrestling Entertainment has picked up a lot of rock and roll stuff. And I mean, we take it way back to when I saw Living Colour perform for CM Punk at, what was it, WrestleMania 29 or something like that?
One of them. Like,
It was that one, and then last year with Code Orange.
Everybody
spazzed out about Code
Opened
Orange.
up NXT, played Bleeding in the Blur, and then they just had a recent one. What the hell was it? War Games. They did War Games, and the theme for that was Power Trip, Execution is Tax. Shout out to Power Trip.
So there you go. That's a big plus right there. See, I don't need my notes anymore
Oh,
because
no,
he's
man.
already the knowledgeable
I love Power
one.
Trip so
Nah,
much. I
I'm
love
just kidding.
Riley, man. Those guys they killed it.
Yo, they've you know, they put a lot of they bring out a lot of new bands to come in and do stuff like that. I mean, Shinedown even had theme songs from there, and we look back in like the early 2000s, back in the Attitude Era. Motorhead did music for, you know, World Wrestling Federation when it was at the time.
I think it's the influence of Triple H a lot.
Yeah.
Because I know he's a big metalhead. He loves Motorhead. I mean, please, when Lemmy died, there was Lemmy's casket. Yeah,
he was
but
at the
right
funeral.
above or like below Lemmy's casket was a World Wrestling Entertainment belt.
Yeah.
Like Triple H was like, nah, stamp right here. Like you don't. You don't escape from the clutches of the WWE.
No.
Like, that's awesome.
You don't.
I love it. I'm in it for life. I fell out for a while, but I'm in it for life.
No,
now.
and me too. You and me both with that one.
I'm kind of missing SmackDown right now, but
We
that's
both
how much
are.
I love you.
We both are. I'll be downstairs right now.
Yeah.
I have myself a nice cold beer, watching.
That's how much
else.
I love you. Is I'm here.
Watching
I'm missing SmackDown.
Watching John Cena try to get into WrestleMania.
He's a free agent now. Let's find out. We might be dating ourselves on this.
Of course we are. You know, My thing is, how do you feel about other sports, other American sporting events and teams bringing out rock and roll, bringing out heavy metal to, as you spoke about exposure? Like, how do you feel about that? I mean, it's fucking amazing to me.
Yes, I love it. I love it. Now, there's times when you'll see something and you'll hear something, maybe like the Carl's Jr. commercial or whatever, and they had Pantera, all right?
Yeah, people spaz out about that still.
There's a moment when it comes on and I'm like, ah. But then, like, you gotta let it settle, and despite being the pessimist that I am my entire life, like, you have to be like, you know what? For, like, kids from now, like, that's awesome. Mm-hmm. Because some stupid kid can be sitting there watching that, and then that thing could come on, and that kid could be like, what the hell is that? That song is really good. Look it up once on YouTube and fall into the friggin' YouTube hellhole that we've all... and then
the
in a day, he's listening to Behemoth, Belphegor, Septic Flesh, and like it started from a Carl's Jr. commercial. Yeah. So it's awesome. It's awesome. I mean, Ex Mortis, they did a Verizon commercial.
Sex Mortis.
And I love
Shout out
Ex
to
Mortis.
those boys. I fucking love them.
I saw the commercial and I was like, ah. And I fought with Jose about it, and he's like, this is great. And I was like, it's great, but it hurts my soul. But again, but it's great exposure. That's just my inner, like, friggin' metal, blah, 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 like that stupid garbage. But, like, business-wise, band-wise, it's a brilliant, they probably got a nice hit for doing that, and it's smart.
Yeah,
it's smart.
There's been an influx for it, and I hope it doesn't stop.
Even if it gives me a kick in the gut. But but then again, I got to favor it, because then it comes on for wrestling, and I'm like, yeah!
Exactly.
So who am I to say Verizon's right and Verizon's wrong and wrestling's right? Like,
true.
It is what it is.
You gotta take all of it into stride. And speaking of taking all of it into stride,
yeah.
I know you're a blogger too.
Yeah.
And that makes my heart very happy.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you noticed, but this young man over here has a blog called Hails from the Crypt.
Oh, nice shout out. Thank you.
Of
I was
course.
going to shamelessly plug that at some point.
What do you think this is?
What was it again?
Hails from the Crypt.
Thank you. .com, yeah, thank you. Very good.
.gov.edu.
It's all photos. I mean, we're just out here. We're out here grinding. There's a million dudes like us doing what we're doing, and I see that. That's how I met you. Like, we're out at the same shows. We're out with the same people at the same shows. All these people are doing their thing, and it's like, if everyone else is doing it, if we have this access, this is what we want. This is what we like to do.
And this is the best kind of access,
I love it. I love doing it. Hails from the Crypt. It's all photos. I'm still not up to this dude's level. Or her
stop.
level.
Or the amazing camera woman behind Marissa Ann. She's also a photographer. Woo! Yes.
Check out the Instagram, because I'm like sitting there admiring. I was like, my shit don't look this good. My shit don't look this good. My shit don't look this good.
I hate this. I hate this.
I'm just jealous. I get one good picture a year.
That's all right. That's how everyone starts.
I'm trying.
I was horrendous, dude, and I 8 years later.
6 months in, I got published in Decibel. I'm just saying.
There you go.
I'm just saying.
There you go.
Thank you, Albert Mudrian.
So, on that note, we're gonna wrap this up real quick because it is dark as.
I like this. This is creepy.
Here. I know, right? I just need a bunch of candles and a Ouija board and probably like a death metal guy. Yeah, we'll get murdered back here. Yeah, but with nothing here except Spider-Man.
This is a beautiful place to die, I'm saying. If I was going to die anywhere.
You heard it first, heavy metal death.
Yeah,
right
hell
here.
yeah.
That's it. I want to know, what is the last thing for advice that you want to give to people as someone who is in the business, who's been doing this for 10 years in radio, who is someone who is 6 months in as a blogger, as an entrepreneur in essence? What can you tell the people who are watching this right now? What do you think they should do to follow up on what they wish to become, or if they aspire to be like you?
The best, easiest way I can put it is never stop working, ever. If you are not in the mood to never stop putting in the work to contacting who you got to contact, setting up interviews, recording the interviews, editing the interviews, posting the interviews, promoting the interviews, whatever you're doing. If you're that's just radio stuff from the blog standpoint. And diversify. Don't, as much as I love metal, I want to branch out. I want to branch far out from metal and do other things. I would love to write or do a book or something like that. Set goals, achieve goals. If you're a friggin' slacker, everyone likes to get stoned, hang out, jerk off, whatever, but don't let it take over your life.
Yeah.
Like,
stick to the business.
Aspire to do what the hell you want to do. I mean, awesome things will happen if you put the work in. And that's the cheesiest thing I've ever said in my life. But if you would have told me 10 years ago when I was interning at Def Jam that I was going to be doing anything that I've been doing leading up to this point, sitting with you right here, I'd say you're out of your friggin' mind, that I would friggin' hang out with Randy Blythe from Lamb of God, smoke weed with Phil Anselmo, hang out with Kirk Hammett, just like meeting these dudes who I have worshipped my entire life, and just chilling with them casually, and they're not assholes. They're like me, they're like you, they're
normal human beings.
And you could, if you aspire to do good things and you do good at what you're doing, and it's definitely who you know too. It helps,
But that all comes with the territory.
Yes, being out at shows and meeting people, you just gotta be out there. You gotta be part of the scene. You can't just hang back and a lot of people I guess can do it from their basement and never leave, which is what a lot of people do, I guess. But unless you're active and you're out there and you're at the shows and you're watching people get punched in the face and you're like photographing it, doing interviews, helping bands haul gear. I friggin' helped Guar move their gear. Like, that's insane.
You pick up the roadie work.
Friggin' insane. Like, you could just help. Like, didn't Tupac get famous, like, humping around Digital Underground stuff? Like, just crates and, like, just put in the work. I tell the interns at Sirius, do everything. Learn to do everything, because a lot of people like to do, like, I do one thing. I only do interviews.
Be the Renaissance man or woman you need to be.
Do everything
to make it.
Dip your hand in everywhere.
Yep.
Don't just stay on one thing, because it's not. There's a whole world out there. So just work hard. Work really, 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 really hard. You can sleep, but just work hard. Just work. Jose don't sleep. I'm convinced Jose Mangan does not sleep.
Yeah, he's a vampire.
Yeah,
we've come to that conclusion, and at the end when the apocalypse comes, it's gonna be Nicolas Cage versus Jose Mangan for immortality rights. Jose, I love you. You're still my dude,
man,
regardless.
For real.
But on that note, we're gonna wrap this up.
Yes.
Shawn Winkler, SiriusXM,
Thank you, Derek.
Liquid Metal,
and
Hails from the Crypt.
Thank you. At What's in the Box, spell box B0X.
That's it, B0. And as all of us would say right now, hey.